Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing the ABC challenge with X for Xena the Warrior Princess. Now, this was kind of a hard decision. First and foremost, there are not a lot of characters that start with the letter X. So I was like, oh man, there's a couple different options, and I actually played between Xena or the Xenomorph, and it was a really hard choice because you guys know me, I absolutely adore monsters, and I love the Xenomorph. It's just a really cool creature design. But I decided to go with Xena because, for one, I already did kind of a Xenomorph on the channel. I did the Red Alien Queen, so I thought I would want to change it up and go with something else. And then on top of it, I think Xena was one of the first kick-ass, badass female characters that I knew when I was younger. So I was like, you know, I should really pay homage to her in this show because I remember watching it when I was younger and I absolutely loved it. One thing to keep in mind though, I was pretty young when Xena actually first started premiering. So I was born in 92 and the show started in 95, and I think it ran till 2001. So by then I was only 9 years old. So I didn't watch it a ton, but I do remember watching it quite a bit. Whenever my cartoons weren't on, or whenever Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network weren't playing one of my favorite cartoons, typically it was pretty funny. Xena usually lined up with that time slot. And it's actually kind of funny comparing my husband's and mine's childhood. He's slightly older than me. He was born in '89, so he got to experience these shows for a couple more years than I did. But for him specifically, instead of Xena, he remembers Xena more from Hercules, because apparently how Xena got her start was she was originally in the Hercules series that premiered for, oh god, I don't know, mostly through the 80s and I think the 90s. I don't even know if it ran into the 2000s, but he remembers that one specifically, and he remembers that's where Xena originated from. But for me, I knew Xena coming straight from her show, not from another show. I think one of the hardest things from when I was younger was, if I remember correctly, the Xena and Hercules shows typically ran longer than the typical 30-minute show. I know the cartoons, when you take out all of the commercials that we put in our TV shows and just basically boil it down to what it is, most of our cartoons run for 15 to 20 minutes and that's it, and the rest are commercials. But I remember Xena and Hercules, I think they ran for 45 minutes. They were long shows, and when I was younger, it was kind of a weird mix. I really liked Xena and I liked the show, but then on the flip side, you know, you're young, you have a very short attention span, and sometimes I'd get bored on different Xena episodes. But I know that any of them that had really great action or something cool happening, I always was paying attention. But a couple episodes here and there were a little drawled on because, you know, it was little 9-year-old Katelyn trying to understand something about politics or whatever has happening in the world and not seeing cool kick butt action. My attention span was out the window at that point. But now that I'm older, I'm actually thinking about trying to give this series a rewatch because, you know, it has a really big cult following, and I really want to experience this, even if it's the cheesy 80s, 90s humor. I don't care. I really want to try it and see if I can watch it. I don't know where it is though. I don't think it's on Hulu or Netflix, so I might have to find somewhere else. Maybe a friend of mine has it on DVD, or maybe it was re-released on DVD and I can find it on Amazon or something. I don't know. But either way, I'm gonna try to find this, track it down, and give it a rewatch so I can actually fully appreciate the show and this kick butt princess. And it's actually kind of funny because, to me, I think Xena was kind of the first... I don't want to overstep it based off of what memories I have, but I think she was one of the first, practically armored female characters. With this year, with the new Wonder Woman movie coming out and how her armor was actually, based off of real armor from history and actually looked like it could be legitimate and is not just hey, look, we threw her in this because it's sexy. I think Xena also kind of falls under that category. I know that there's still some parts of her armor and costume that are still, you know, obviously trying to appeal to the male audience, a little bit more cleavage, a little bit more showing of the shoulders, but I think in terms of comparing her to the times, she might have been one of the first, like, actually legitimately armored warrior women. And I just absolutely love her costume. I know some parts of it are a little bit skimpier, or like she's showing like cleavage, or like, oh my god, her shoulders are exposed, depending on which costume. But either way, like, I think she looks kick-ass and badass. And I just love that she actually had like really cool working weapons. Like, even though her like disc thing that could split into two wasn't like super practical and might have not worked as well as it did in the show, it was still really cool and I really liked it. And then she had her sword too, and I don't know, I don't think she had a whip, because that was like, did she? I don't know, maybe she just had a rope. I don't remember very well, but either way, she had some kick-ass weapons, and that really helped make her like a really badass female character. And then another side note, that when I was kind of doing some digging for some Xena references pictures, I totally forgot, but there was word and talk of there being a Xena reboot, and I think the last news we got about it was like, I don't know, April of this year? So if you guys know anything about that, and if it's actually happening, please let me know, because I was reading a couple articles right before I recorded this, and I guess like one of the original writers or someone that was on the original Xena team is no longer a part of the reboot team. So I'm just curious, like, where that went. Like, are we still getting a reboot? Are we gonna have a new Xena that's gonna be coming to TV soon? Or is it kind of dead? Or I don't know. So if you guys have any info, I'd love to know, but I couldn't find anything when I was doing just some light digging right before this. But either way, I would love to rewatch the series now that I'm a little bit older and probably could appreciate it a little more. And I mean, I'll probably enjoy the stupid witty humor or like the weird 80s, 90s vibes that, you know, for all of my viewers that grew up in that time, you kind of know what the TV vibe was and how, I guess, shows presented themselves. So you know the feeling. But I think I'm ready to try to find this and watch it, because I'd love to actually watch it and appreciate it for what it was. And then if there's like a reboot, I would totally be on board for watching that. I would love to watch a Xena reboot. So let's hope that there's something maybe next year. I think originally they were trying to get it out in 2016, but maybe it will come out in 2017. But besides that, overall, this was a really fun piece. I really enjoyed drawing Xena, and I think she looks pretty badass. Overall, it was a fun piece. There's a couple things now that I'm looking at it again that I might go back and change, or I kind of wish that I fine-tuned a little bit more. But it was still a nice little quick drawing to do for Xena and for X, and this ABC challenge has been really fun. Like, we're almost done, guys. Like, we only got 2 letters left. So thanks again, guys, for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week. And I would love to hear what you guys would have picked for X, so if you want to leave it down in the comments below, that'd be great. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.